It is time now for the final week of Low Tier Mayhem Season number 2, and this week we are taking on Necrostevo, coach of the Victorian Shadows. I'll give you guys a quick rundown of the team, and the battle will soon follow afterwards. And if you guys are enjoying the Draft League content, feel free to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. Now, we came off with a very solid 6-0 win last week over Viz on the back of Iron Defense, Body Press, Registeel, and some unfortunate luck on my opponent's half. Regardless though, it was a much needed win as it helps to give us a better chance of securing a playoff spot, and essentially speaking, this game is a must-win situation for us, as with the win we guarantee a spot in playoffs, and a loss I could still make the playoffs while losing, but at the same time though, I'd rather try to focus on the win because Necrostevo also needs to win to have a shot at playoffs. So essentially speaking, my playoff run begins right now, and his team is exceptionally scary. By having big threats with offensive threats like Gengar, his Terra Captains in Mesprit and Flygon are actually pretty nuts. Given the right Terra situation, he has some solid bulk with Vaporeon, Bellibolt, Arcanine, and even threats like Flamigo is very difficult for me to switch into. And even Brambleghast can be a bit of a nuisance for my Terrakion, considering that it can chew a Stone Edge and either just knock me out with Power Whip, Strength Sap back to full HP, that sort of stuff. So a lot of things to consider for Necrostevo's team, but despite that, the team I am rocking with for this week, we do have our Stealth Rock Sword Stance Dual Stab Lumberry Terrakion. Lumberry is just here to ensure that any annoying status like Thunder Wave Tinkaton, Wisp, Gengar, if he decides to bring that, Scald from Vaporeon, I don't really want to get afflicted by any status condition or even static from the Bellibolt as well. I just want to take have the one-time means of curing Terrakion status and give it a way to be a more keep its role as an offensive threat going. Stone Edge with close combat is really all I need in this matchup. I considered Earthquake for Tinkaton, but it seemed a bit innocuous. Not really innocuous, but it didn't really feel like it was necessary, considering I was getting good damage off of close combat anyway, and if Tinkaton's coming in to take a CC, I can still just switch out or 2 a KO if it's in range. Other than that though, the EV spread is just very straightforward. It's just enough speed to outspeed his Flygon max attack, rest of HP. Then next up we do have our physically defensive Slowking. This is my means of switching into the Flygon for the most part, depending on what the Terra is on the Flygon. But the idea is with Slowking to try to force the Flygon to Terra as quickly as possible, because as you can see, I am running Ice Beam specifically for that Flygon. So if he Terras the Mesprit, the Flygon becomes a lot more in a precarious situation, and I can 2 a KO with Ice Beam pretty easily. Other than that though, then Scald for pretty spammable against everything that's not named Vaporeon, Chilly Reception for recovery, for momentum, and Slack Off for recovery. This is just a means to also just take a hit from Vaporeon and get some slow momentum into the rest of my team. Then we have my physically, or mixed defensive, so to speak, Terra Ghost Arboliva. This is my backup response, in a sense, to Flygon. With Terra Ghost Terra Blast, I can hit Pokemon like Mesprit for reactive damage. I can deal with Gengar in a pinch, as well as the main target for Terra Blast Ghost being Brambleghast, as my other 2 moves are resisted. And then I have Strength Sap as my last move to weaken his physical attackers like the Flygon and the Arcanine to an extent. The investment with the 248 HP and 60 special defense lets me guaranteed take a Life Orb Gengar Shadow Ball from full if I Terrasilize into a Ghost type, and the rest was thrown into defense to better take on his physical threats like the Flamigo, for example. Then we have my main Gengar switching being the Incineroar, just straight up specially defensive. Flare Blitz deals with the Tinkaton, Knockoff gets rid of items, knocks out the Gengar, Parting Shot for momentum, and then Will-O-Wisp is here to cripple stuff like the Flygon. Other than that though, very straightforward set. This is my Gengar check. I use the word check loosely because Incineroar can be worn down by the rest of his team to the point where it's no longer considered a really good switch in. And then I just have a little bit of speed in there just to speed creep it on invested Vaporeon so I can Parting Shot before it can hit me with a Scald. Now for the more offensive check to the Gengar, depending on if it's Choice Scarf or not, and we have Choice Scarf Rotom. This just gives me a means of revenge killing stuff like a Choice Scarf Flamigo, Gengar if it's not Choice Scarf, Flygon if it's not boosted, and other than that though, this set's still pretty good. Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, Volt Switch, and Trick is really all I need on this set. Other than that though, we do have it's fairly straightforward, all things considered, and then we have just enough speed to outspeed the Flamigo, max special attack for the rest of the HP, and then lastly is my win condition in Quiver Dance Ribombee. Ideally, I'm not really trying to ideally I'm not trying to terrestrialize with the Ribombee, because Moonblast with Psychic Noise really does a good amount of damage to everything on his team. Psychic Noise specifically is for the Gengar, and it prevents the Vaporeon from getting recovery with Wish. But in case I do need to terrestrialize, I do have Terra Blast Ground for the Tinkaton and the Arcanine, which is the only real targets I really care about on this set. But if they're gone, then I can save my Terra for the Arboliva if I need to. Other than that though, this set's just a very straightforward win condition, get a Quiver Dance up and try to just do as much damage as I can with Moonblast and Psychic Noise. So yeah, that's the team, and with that out of the way, let's head on over to the battle. Alright guys, here we are, the final week of Low Tier Mayhem Season number 2, and this week we are taking on Necrostevo and his Victorian Shadows. He did opt to bring both his Terra captains. He has the Terra Electric Flygon and Terra Poison on the Mesprit. We also see the Gengar, we see the Flamigo, we see Arcanine, and we see the Tinkaton. So no Belly Bolt, that's great. In terms of a lead, I think my safest lead would probably be, I have two options. I either can lead off with Slowking or I can lead off with Incineroar. I think overall my safest lead would probably be Incineroar. Just to get off and Intimidate on something that's not Flamigo. I think the only worst case scenario is if he leads just immediately off with Flamigo in close combats for free, or Brave Birds for that matter. But in any case, good luck, have fun in Necrostevo. This game is pretty important to both of us. I need this win to guarantee a slot in playoffs, and Necrostevo needs this to ensure that he has a shot at playoffs. So this is a very, very important game for the both of us. Bonky is going to be the Tinkaton. Okay, so I get the lead. Good lead. Good lead. And we see Air Balloon on the Tinkaton. Good to know. Air Balloon. Alright. So I could immediately just go for a Flare Blitz, like right away. I do imagine the Arcanine wanting to come out here. So let's just go straight for the knockoff. I can't imagine him trying to stay in and force the issue. Him being Air Balloon doesn't really mean all that much in the long term. Like, it only really hinders my Ribombee being able to Terra Blast it or my Arboliva from clicking Earth Power. That's really it. Other than that though, just being able to, yeah, exactly, so let's switch out. We're expecting the Arcanine to want to come in. Yep. Okay, so he did predict me to go for the fire move, as he's justified. Okay, I do knock off the choice band though. So we do see justified, and we do see choice band. So he's still +1, but he can switch up his moves now. Let's see. I don't have the best of switch-ins now to this thing, because he's at +1. do need Slow King for the... Alright, so what I'm gonna do, I'm still gonna make the Slow King play as much as I didn't want to be in this position, because now he's at +1 and can switch up his moves. He could just wild charge off rip. He's gonna crunch. Alright, so good mid ground play. And then from here, technically speaking, I could go hard Terrakion if I feel like doing that. I don't really want to give up my ability to give up my my Terrakion so early, but considering I gave him the early justified boost, I am going to have to like do some pivoting around right now. And he just goes for Flare Blitz as he crits me. Very unfortunate that he crit me there with that Flare Blitz. Alright. Yeah, I'm playing very, very badly right now. So now I'm going to double into Rotom on the expecting him to go for extreme speed here. Yeah, that crit really sucks. Because if I didn't get crit there, I would have stayed in and clicked, I would have clicked Stone Edge. Good, alright. All I need to know is that he did click E-Speed. So now I can Shadow Ball for free. I'm not going to do much damage to whatever wants to come in, but at the same time though, I'd rather get rid of this threat right away. Because I'm essentially down like almost 2 Pokemon because of this thing. But yeah, I'm good to bring Justified Arcanine. And Choice Band is that. Alright, so I am going to knock off the Arcanine. Perfect. Okay, so Rotom gets the first kill of the game. So now he knows I'm Scarf. The question is now, what does he go into? If I can force the Terra with the Flygon, I have the ability to freely pivot around with my Rotom still. And Rotom is still pretty important though to offensively check the Gengar. So, Tinkaton's gonna come back out. I don't want to lose my Scarf. I am just going to go into... Yeah, we just go back into Incineroar. Like, I'm gonna either... He's either gonna get up rocks or he's gonna knock off my boots. But the way I see it, now that I got rid of the Arcanine, Flare Blitz is super free. I'd rather lose my boots than anything else. I do make myself weaker to Gengar making this play, but at the same time, I still, as long as I have my offensive checks to... As long as I have my offensive checks to Gengar and Flygon, I should be okay. So yeah, let's just go straight for the Flare Blitz. Like, alternatively, I could have also gone for Will-O-Wisp, expecting him to go Mesprit, but if he's going to go Mesprit, I'd rather just try to get damage off on that immediately. Okay, he's just going to knock off my boots immediately. And we're going to knock out the Tinkaton. Beautiful. Alright. So, now comes the situation of the Flamigo. Because now we get to go Flamigo for free. Looking at it now too, because I got rid of both the Arcanine and Tinkaton, which means I don't have to Terra my Ribombee anymore. I can Terra my Arboliva freely. If he goes Flamigo, I think I have to stay in on the close combat. I'm not seeing any other avenue right now where I can actually do anything over the top. And like I said, as long as I keep my my speed, yeah. So Flygon's gonna come in. I have to try to Wisp it. Like, hopefully he's not Lumberry. No, I'd rather just stay in. Like I said, I'm losing my response to Gengar doing this, my main switch-in, but my boots have already been knocked off and Stealth Rock is up, so it's not really a long-term switch-in anyway. And he's gonna Scale Shot, alright. So this makes me think it may be Dice. Alright. Please connect with Will-O-Wisp. Please connect with Incineroar. Alright. No, don't be Lumberry. I'll be very mad if you're Lumberry. Yes, it's not Lumberry. It was, okay, it was Loaded Dice. Okay. Threat down. Okay, I can sack off my Incineroar in peace now. I can sack off Incineroar in peace. That is huge. Absolutely huge. That he was Loaded Dice and not Lumberry. So we can go for a second yeah. DD up. I don't think it's gonna matter too much. As I knock off the Loaded Dice. Yeah, that was big. And I got some big damage off with that knockoff. So yeah, Thunder Punch knocks me out. He still has one more turn. He's at +2 speed. Let's just go into Arboliva. I go Arboliva and I click Strength Set. Scale tail shots. Grassy terrain goes up. I don't think it's going to matter too much because I did click strength sap. Yeah, 3 hits, and we're just going to strength sap that all back. Get back up to full, and die to burn is the Flygon. So that's another kill for Incineroar. Alright, so now all we have left is the Mesprit, the Gengar, and the Flamigo. So I know he's going to Terra the Mesprit. That much is a guarantee. If he goes Gengar, I just Terra and Terra Blast. Always. Yeah, so things are looking good in the endgame for my Scarf Rotom too. Big Feelings is the Mesprit. Alright. So now I don't really have to Terra. Well, actually no, I do. I do. I'll Terra and Terra Blast. Yeah, so we want to see the Terra Poison from the Mesprit. Like I said, I don't need to Terra with my Ribombee anymore because both his Fairy Resist are down. Light Screen up. Okay. So if it's Light Screen, makes me believe that it is, like, Terra... Not Terra, it's like, what's the word I'm looking for? It is Nasty Plot Gengar. That's the only thing that comes to mind. Even so... Is it worth me staying in, though, is the question. Actually, I have an idea. No, I can keep Arboliva. Cause I can use it as another backup to check the, Flamigo. Alright, so he's gonna U-turn. I think he's forced to go into Flamigo, because he doesn't know that if I'm Scarf or not. Yeah, I'm just gonna Stone Edge. Alright, so now he goes into Scarf. Totally okay with that. Alright, So now it comes down to how do I want to play this game right now. I think what I have to do, I have to go Arboliva. First off, let me see how many turns of light screen are left. Alright, it's 2 turns left, so unless this is Light Clay Mesprit, this should not kill me unless it is Specs. Okay, it's Specs. Alright. Alright, we go Ribombee. No, because Arboliva, I EV Arboliva to live Life Orb, getting our Shadow Ball. Yeah, I guess I could have alternatively just gone this first. Yeah, I could have went to this first, but it's alright. Yeah, he Specs. And the light screen wears off. Okay. Psychic Noise. Bingo. Alright, so that's a kill for Ribombee. And now all he has left is the Mesprit and the Flamigo. Yeah. Kinda wish I didn't sack my Arboliva like that. But it is what it is. Psychic Noise again. This won't kill, but at the same time though, he's definitely going to get up a light screen and try to win with Flamigo. If I could just stall out the light screen turns, I think I should be okay. Yeah, I just Psychic Noise, Psychic Noise. Oh, it didn't even kill. Cool. Alright, so that's 2 kills for Ribombee. And all he has left is the Flamigo. So as soon as the As soon as light screen ends, the game should be a wrap. I don't think there's a situation where Flamigo can come in and like solo here. Like, it'll live Moonblast through light screen. Actually, I think the worst case scenario is if he's weakness policy agility. Okay, it's not. Alright, so Flamigo kills Ribombee. We go Rotom, we click Volt Switch, and that should be the game. Actually, can I just T-Bolt? Yeah, it's in T-Bolt range. And that's going to be the game, guys. We are going to pick up the 2-0 win over Necrostevo and the Victorian Shadows and clinch ourselves a spot in the playoffs with a 6-3 record, ending on a nice 4-game winning streak. That was something. So yeah, it was really rough at the beginning there with how that Arcanine was just putting in a crap ton of work against my team, but yeah. We clutched up and came back really, really strongly at the end there. So yeah, big props to Ribombee, Incineroar, and Rotom for carrying the load in this game for sure. Really wish I didn't sack off our Believer the way I did, but I had to ensure that the Gengar was, I had to see if it was Specs or not, but I probably could have just won Ribombee and just Quiver Danced anyway, but at the same time I didn't know what his set was at the time, so I had to confirm it. But yeah. That's going to be it for the regular season, guys. We finished 6-3 plus 10 differential. I don't know what that means for our playoff situation is, but we are guaranteed a lock for playoffs no matter what, which is great. We end the season on a 4-game winning streak. Great momentum to take into the playoffs for sure. I don't know where our seeding is going to be. I don't think I'll be able to pick anybody, but we'll see what happens. The regular season now officially behind us. It is time now for the playoffs. Hope you guys are looking forward to it as much as I am. GG, of course, Necrostevo. Be sure to check them out in the description down below. Check out all the codes taking part in low-tier Mayhem, and the regular season is now officially on the back burner, and it's time now for the playoffs. Let's lock in, guys. Thank you guys for much for watching, and until the next time, guys, it's Tone, signing out for now. Peace out.